So we're not in training camp, but Matthew Burrell, Demetrius Knox, and Malcolm Pridgeon all find themselves in a position battle again because Ohio State needs a new right guard. Branden Bowen broke his leg against Maryland. We think he's probably out for the year. They didn't say he's out for the year, but the guy broke his leg. It was a clean break. He had surgery. He's not playing this year. They need a new right guard, and we have three names we've heard before. Three guys who had a chance to win a starting job last year and didn't do it. Three guys who had a chance to win a starting job this year and didn't do it. Now one of them has to win. That, to me, spells a little bit of a problem, Doug. I think you feel the same way. How big of an issue is this for Ohio State that now they have to find someone among the three who haven't been able to win a job yet?
They're not having a competition again because they have three great options and they can't figure out which of the one is better.
Yeah.
We talked about this in our podcast after the game. They usually have a sixth guy that there would be no question here. You slide him in. I mean, if you have to move guys around, so be it. But he's the sixth guy. A competition in the middle of the year when somebody gets hurt is not a good sign. This is not a good sign. I would not have much confidence in this, in whatever they do. And I'm not so sure that any of the three of them is going to be the answer full-time for the rest of the year in the end. But I would be very worried about this because this is not normal. This is not how teams do this. Normally you say, what do they say about Harold? I make fun of it. I mean, all teams say it, but next man up. They always say next man up around here. They don't say, well, we have to figure out next man, and then he's up. So this is not a good sign.
Matt Burrell and Demetrius Knox are listed as co-starters. I think that's important. Malcolm Pridgeon is listed as a backup at left tackle. And Billy Price said something interesting about Matthew Burrell after Saturday's game against Maryland. He said Matt Burrell it's Burrell, not Burrell. Burrell is a kid who thinks a lot and worries about making mistakes, and I think that comes with being in a competition. And this is a competition. Evermeyer said that, but it feels like maybe less so of one. Tim, do you think if Matt Burrell finds himself not really in a competition, it's just sort of his job and he needs to hold on to it, do you think that can be good for him? And do you think he's a guy who you can plug and play and maybe not miss that much?
I think it's good for a young player to not have the worry of competition. Like, it's your job. You just go out there and play. And offensive line is so tricky because we talked about on Saturday in our post-game podcast. When you lose a lineman, you're not just losing one guy. You're losing the chemistry between five guys. And just because you slide in Matt Burrell, for all we know, I mean, he could play well in the final 5 or 6 games of the season, of the regular season, and we won't worry about it. I think the issue is obviously trying to get some new chemistry in there. It's not always about the player. I think it's about the guys next to him that all of a sudden they have to learn, what he is strong at, what he's deficient at. As far as like plug and play, that's hard to say, but Burrell at least got some playing time on Saturday against Maryland with the ones. He got a little bit of his feet wet with them. He was in that battle. I think he's got a chance to do pretty well.
He didn't totally stick out. He had a holding penalty, but I thought he played okay. But this is an issue. They're on the road in what's going to be a very loud stadium, and a offensive lineman who's never started before is going to start against Nebraska on Saturday night. We'll be there. Follow along with us. For Tim and Doug, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching on cleveland.com.